What's going on YouTube? We got a video here, man, coming from Shisha Z. We're gonna be talking about P. Diddy found not guilty. He going home. I know the ladies about to be pissed. Let's get it.
He has been convicted of 2 of the 5 criminal charges against him. This is a stunning verdict, one that I don't think many predicted. So he was convicted of 2 counts of transportation for prostitution, which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in federal prison. But he was spared. Not guilty on the 3 most serious charges, not guilty on the 2 counts of trafficking, and not guilty on the RICO charge, which all 3 would have been carried a possible life sentence and mandatory minimum time. The 2 charges he was convicted of don't have mandatory minimum prison time, which means that Diddy theoretically will serve some time on them. But he's not going away for the rest of his life. He's not going away for more than likely a few years, probably closer to 10 years, but who knows what the guidelines say. But this is a major win for Diddy, a major win for Diddy, because he has been spared of the most serious charges. Spread the word and follow along for all the news you need to know about. More to come.
Wow. And just to be clear, there were a lot of people who were calling this. I mean, let's be honest, the writing was sort of on the wall. If you weren't too emotionally attached to the stories that were being painted during this court case, you knew that this whole case lacked the evidence of the actual charges that they were trying to place on Diddy, especially when it came to trafficking and also that RICO charge. Listen, I was very honest when I covered this and said, I think Diddy's a sick man. And people would say, what has he done that's wrong? I'm like, come on, you've seen the videos. You've seen that Diddy had a dark past that borderlined on criminal. But when it came to the women he was dealing with, was he trafficking those women? I don't think they had the proof for that, right? I don't think they had the proof for the whole RICO case. And you guys could get a sense that this was happening. I check out a few of these comments. I'm sure people are shocked and crashing out here in the comment section. Top comment here says, so completely disappointing. Somebody else who says, our system is so broken. My heart goes out to all these victims and their families. Somebody else here added. So
what victims, man? They all was participants, man. Ain't no such thing as victims, man. It's volunteers, bro.
The jury was either paid off or threatened. There ain't no way. So that's the big thing that you're probably going to hear here going forward consistently. I'm sure you guys want to read more comments here. Somebody else who says, this is not justice. My heart hurts for the women and families who that monster hurt. The system is broken. Wow, sorry to the women, men, and families affected, so on and so forth. Here's when I started, because I'm not an attorney. Here's where I started to actually sit down and think to myself, ooh, this might actually go in a direction that a lot of the people who've just been buying everything that they've been hearing and not actually thinking about the actual charges, this was going in a direction that would completely shock a lot of these people. And when I saw an attorney, right, when I saw attorneys covering the situation and pointing out that there was a lack of evidence, for example, this lady goes by the name of Attorney Stephanie _ on TikTok, I realized, I was like, okay, Diddy might actually walk and avoid the worst of these charges.
Government overreach is real. I'm not going to talk about the Diddy case. I'm not going to highlight the Diddy case. I just want people to understand, man, like really, government overreach is real. And I'm hearing the evidence. I'm hearing it secondhand. I'm not in there. You're not in there. So you don't know. And so the bottom line is this. He a freak. And I had this discussion with my daughter, one of my daughters. One of my daughters said, when I made a comment that she overheard, she said, so you're supporting him? You don't think that he needs to go to prison? He's a horrible person. He's a horrible person. I said to her, look, everybody has their opinions.
Right. The
bottom line is I'm not saying anything about whether or not this man deserves to go to prison. What I am saying is that there is law. And I don't know of any law that says that you can't be free. Whatever's going to happen in his case is what's going to happen. But
And what happened to flying women out? Like, women could brag about getting flew out all the time. Don't nobody go to jail. Nobody catch no case. So you can't fly a person in to be freaky with them. Now all of a sudden we policing that. It's like everything that's involved around men's, you know what I'm saying, fun, where they use they meat stick. It's police, dog.
Reach is what I have a problem with. And
by the way, you guys should know that this video was published before the final verdict was announced.
This is my opinion and nobody else's opinion. when you interpret the law from a prosecution standpoint in a manner where you are now criminalizing personal, intimate acts with consenting adults, that's an issue. And I hear people that say, well, you're not consenting if you are, I want to be a rising star and I want him to like me so that I can be a rising star. And I did these things because I wanted him to like me because I wanted to be able to be a singer and all this other stuff. Government overreach. We need to be concerned about that.
All right. So that is a good point. The loose definition surrounding trafficking is something that we see in many cases where they'll try to say anybody. At some point, people are thinking, okay, so if you fly any woman over for the promise of you paying her in exchange.
I just said that women get flew out all the time. Don't nobody go to jail. Don't nobody complain. Nobody say nothing. Maybe I had a good time, have fun. When NFL players do it, it's all good. But yeah, and I don't even like Puff Daddy. I don't even like P. Diddy. I never liked the dude. I always thought he was weird. But at the same time, bro, you can't try to hurt people because you don't like people. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Or her sleeping with you, and maybe you're not even giving her any money. Maybe you're just showing her a good time, but she knows she's going to get something. People wanted to classify that in the category of trafficking. And if that's true, the amount of people who would fall within those blurred lines would be literally ridiculous. It wouldn't just be famous people, be any man out here who's flying women or agreeing, right? Consenting to doing anything freaky. Final video here. Let's get into it.
Hey, Attorney Stephanie, I see what you're saying, but some of the stuff that Diddy did was really bad. Don't you think that he should go to prison for that?
Now I ain't saying he ain't a mofo. I'm just saying that is being a mofo against the law? Okay, let me give you a situation. I had a client and we had a horrible case, really bad case. And the dude was pretty bad. I mean, bad. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, bad. In my presentation to the jury, we had to acknowledge that there were some negative and bad things that were going on with my client's activity and his conduct. But the bottom line is, that's not what he's on trial for. If he was on trial for being an asshole, yeah, he'd be guilty. If he was on trial for being a mofo, guilty. If he was on trial for being a user, guilty. If he was on trial for being an abuser, guilty. When you take in consideration what the actual crime is, and you cloud that with all the bad stuff that the person does, right, that's an injustice. And I understand that people's like, you know what?
I don't even like P. Diddy. I wouldn't even been mad if he went to jail. But I don't like people getting prosecuted for something that's fair, that's supposed to be fair game for everybody to do, bro. Like, if we like a woman, we can't fly her to the crib, you know what I'm saying, and have a good time. Like, when did it become illegal to pay, you know what I'm saying, a woman that you're dealing with, especially if you got money, you know what I'm saying, or especially if, the woman wanting to do it, you know what I mean? It's illegal to go out on a corner and pick up girls, but bro, in real life, bro, it's not illegal to have fun with a woman that you know what I'm saying, deem a friend or somebody that you were intimate with, you've been doing things with. Like, he was doing things with Cass, he was with her. Now, putting his hand on her, I don't respect, but bro, getting freaky and bringing dudes over and they get freaky together, bro, it's not illegal, bro.
How you get them? Well, there's an avenue for domestic. The avenue for domestic is not in federal court. The avenue for domestic is in state court. So suppose I decide that I don't like you and I don't like how you treat people and you treat people horribly and you're the worst person ever. And I want you to go to prison for being a demon and a devil. And a prosecutor decides to charge you with whatever that has nothing to do with what you did, but only to do with how you treat people. Black and brown people better worry about that.
All right, so here we have a few comments. Comment who says, this is just my opinion, by the way. Well, she ended up being right. This person says she's 1,000% correct. If this flies a lot of people in trouble, she responded back and says, I just want us to think critically. There's somebody else who says he's a freak. Somebody else here added.
I agree with her 100%. The people in the comments agree. Once you talk to most people with common sense and they understand, like, what's going on, you know what I'm saying, the reality and how you feel, it's two different things. You can get through to people. But most people, man, don't got common sense. Most people think what they feel, and most people are very irrational about how they make decisions, especially when it comes to making decisions on somebody else's life. Like, bro, you don't think about it or you don't care about it until it happened to you. We need to stop kind of like thinking like that. We need to kind of like think outside the box and put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. What if that was your daddy? What if that was your uncle? What if that was your brother? What if that was your son? You know, you wouldn't want him to be unfairly prosecuted. You know what I mean? And I ain't saying Diddy innocent. I'm just saying you can't be taking people to jail for being freaks, man. It's my opinion, man. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. I appreciate y'all, man. Until next time. I'm out of here. Beat out. I'm out of here. Peace.